Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Bass Bonsai, we are out of the house, and I know a lot of you probably wondering, where has Charlie been? No, the Clintons didn't get me, but it may have been close. I thought I would put a quick video together. Some of you guys have been asking me, when am I going to go fishing again? Where are the fishing videos at? Well, we're in December right now, so won't be fishing anytime soon, but we're going to get back out on the water at some point. Charles has messaged me, still has my hoodie. I've got this old nasty work hoodie on. He's got my good camo one, right? So, as you guys know, I do a lot of talking in my videos. One of the most negative things I get in my comments are, I beat around the bush, and then I get to the point. If you watch all the videos, you know the deal with bass fishing gear, BFS. When we did some of our GUN videos and live streams, you can't really do any of those, show any of that, because it instantly kills video. But so today we're just going to talk about fishing, bass fishing, BFS fishing. I'm going to talk about the rods and reels I've kept. Haven't been fishing in over a year. Just brought the boat home, put it up, and haven't seen Charles in that year and something. Haven't went back down around the Clinton area. Just been doing other stuff. Got into politics. That's not a good thing. Just not into. I'm not going to run for any position, but following them, the whole election, and Trump and all that, but. So just in case you guys are wondering, in case some of you might, that's where we stand as far as that goes. But you guys knew that, right? Hillbilly redneck out fishing. You guys probably knew where my boat was going. In Missouri, it's been red for the last, I don't know, since I've been alive, I believe. So enough about politics. I just want to tell you guys, I don't plan on getting rid of any of these higher end. I got into some of that higher end rod and reel combos, got into huge swim baits and all those. I'm going to be steering away from that stuff because we're here in the Midwest. You can still catch them. That's what I was kind of trying to prove to myself. Some of these big rod and reel combos, get out and catch some fish on swim baits. It's kind of the trendy thing going and stuff like that. Not a big fan of cranking out those big baits. It's just something to go out and enjoy yourself and do it daily. And the fact you're going to lose the opportunity to catch fish just because not every fish is going to hit those big baits. Even some, in my opinion, middle-sized fish are just kind of leery of that bigger stuff. So you guys know the deal. Chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, smaller jigs, even going down to the BFS stuff, going to the Cinco style worms, which are the Zinkers and the Z-Man, or one of my favorites are the just the worms in like a shaky head, but all Elastec Z-Man when I can, then other crawdad stuff. But this rod, I just want to talk about it real quick because I don't think you'll see me ever maybe fishing with a stouter rod than what this is, but the Tequila Baccarat from Mega Bass, this is just an awesome rod that is very light. I forget the exact specs. But it's not a long rod, so it's only that much taller than me. So I like to try to keep all my rods under 7 foot, just for the ease of getting in and out of vehicles. The little boat I have, you get anything longer than that, a stick out past the boat. I broke off several rods getting in tighter spots fishing in the little Bass Baby. So I try to just keep that, smaller rod and reel combos. But this one, I originally didn't know if I'd like it or not. I ordered it, and it's just an awesome rod. And then that reel, I kept thinking I was going to get away from it because it's got a crazy, unruly spool. But there's other videos if you want to know how to tame the spool down on one of those hyper long cast, any of that Daiwa stuff. But that combo is a very good combo, and that's the big Z-Man chatterbait. So, I'm going to go through the stuff you can get. Not all this is AliExpress stuff either. I went basically from the one extreme to the next, right? You got the cheapest rods and some reels you can get from AliExpress, all the way to like the higher end stuff. And so I just want to start with, I still have kept all of these cheap rods, a couple of them not so cheap, because they're just, you can't sell them for what they may be worth to you down the road later, rigging up on another combo or something. So I'm going to go through them real quick. And if I don't know if any of these, I haven't even checked to see if they're still available on AliExpress or if you can get them locally. So I will try to separate the ones that I think. Let me see here. I'll go from kind of my favorite to my least favorite, but some that are definitely worth mentioning. So these are ones I've kind of, you're probably not going to get, and they're cheap and whatever. But if you can come across any of these older Daiwas, Charles picked this one up for me. It's just an old, try to get it where it'll go into focus. An older Daiwa rod that's just one of those that it's kind of a fiberglassy feel. Some of these cheap rods you can pick up at Bass Pro or whatever that are light, ultralight, work awesome for BFS. And that's just one we picked up for like 15 bucks. And I haven't had, you can see it's brand new, I haven't even used it yet. I just had Charles pick me up one. And then just to, I don't know if you can still come across these, but the lightning rods, I've talked about them for a while now. Just one of the cheapest rods. You can go to a Bass Pro shop. Hog on a hog now. That was actually a pretty cool looking bike. But it'll be upside down. But 6'6" medium in these lightning rods. It just has a tip. I'll try to show you the tip. It just has a tip that is crazy good for BFS, and it's not the most sensitive. It's fairly lightweight. It's not the most sensitive rod in the world, but man, for like 30 bucks or 40 they are now, like you can't beat. That's just a good rod for all around for that price point. And so then this is another one that it's not even really made anymore, but the Fate Black, that was another just an awesome 6'7" medium. It's just one of those. I think it is rated higher than that, so I like it for the smaller chatterbaits. It's just an awesome rod. I put a different handle on it, of course, like I always do. And a lot of these I've made and changed myself, but this is just an old Abu Garcia Gold Max that I picked up a while back, and then I put this Mega Bass because I broke the Mega Bass rod. A lot of the older Mega Bass were a little brittle. Of course, they were like 8 to 10 years old by the time I got them, but some of that graphite and the older Mega Bass were a little brittle. But this rod started out like a 6'8", now it's like a 6'6", but it almost feels like a solid fiberglass, and I'll try to show you. It's got this crazy bends all the way down. This is a rod that Noah's caught a ton of fish on. It's just one that, like, I just don't get rid of it because it's probably, you know, I'd be lucky to get 20 bucks out of it, so I'm not selling it. I'm just keeping it. It's an awesome rod. But then I think you can still get these. You got the Feeling and the Quick and the whatever, but these were the ones that I talked about them being real good rods. They've got a weird name. They're hard to find. If you have any questions on this, you can message me and I'll try to get the info to you. But I've done several videos on this rod. It's a 2-piece. But the Feeling was the one I liked for the shaky head the best. The Feeling it's a little light for probably most guys for a shaky head, but I just loved it. I thought it was a very good one for that. And I've got the Quick over there on another, let me just grab it real quick. So that's the Feeling, and I think the stiffest one I think Matt now has for Matty, but he may have broke it or something. And then if you guys remember that reel, I'll talk about it later. But this is the Quick, and it's just a little, this may be the one you guys would like for like a shaky head or just some of the smaller jigs. Kind of not truly maybe BFS, but just lightweight bass fishing. But you guys know about that reel, right? I think that's the last single lifestyle I have on at the moment on any of my reels. I tried to go back, if you guys remember right, been almost 2 years now when I was switching back to regular handles more or less, just to, I don't know, see if I could make myself like them again. But that's still one of my favorite handles right there. But you guys remember the Lingle, right? We made this one out of the other, I don't even remember the name of that reel, but the reel that came green and black, and we switched the parts. That's just an awesome combo that I keep around, plan on using like forever. And then let's go to some of the cheapest to the most expensive. This was a crazy cheap one. You can find, I think you can still find it. I forget the name of it. They call it something crazy stupid. It's, what's the name of this thing? Let me look here for you guys. I'll try to hold it up there. If you can see that. Golden Mud Carp is what it's named on the rod, but like when I found it, you couldn't find it looking for it like that. But it's just one of those crazy rainbowy rods that was real cheap. It's got a crazy soft, like solid tip. But for just crazy, real lightweight stuff and just going out and having fun with it. I've kept it around. It's just one of those, when you buy them, some of those on AliExpress, they're so cheap. The resale, you'd almost have to give them away. Probably the most famous one, you guys probably seen the Real Test talking about this one. And the very first one of these I got was junk, but then the other one, this one, the CU Double, comes with 2 tips. They went out of a bigger version than this in the CU Double that has never come back in stock. I've never found it back in stock again, but I think you can still get, you may not even be able to get these anymore, but man, the bang for the buck on the CU Double, and I added this handle, comes with that real funky dark brown foam, if you guys remember right. That is just an awesome rod for the money. Either tip works, both of them work pretty good, so you're almost getting like 2 rods for the price of one. It's only like 40 bucks, maybe 50 now. Okay, some of the other ones you'll know, then we'll get into the other ones you may not know, but this is also a very good rod. The Zephyr, Cast King Zephyr. I just like that. It's got good quality. It's a very light tipped, like it's probably the lightest tip rod I own. It's for that lightest of stuff. It's just, I don't know, it's a cool rod and I like it very well. But now I'm coming into some of my favorite rods. So out of maybe all of these, the ones that I picked up, not necessarily this one. This is like right there at the beginning. I love the reel seat and the handle. The rod itself is pretty light. It's kind of got a little more backbone than some of these others I've held up, so it just feels a little more like in control basically while you're casting. But it's very good, like a small trout stream, but you can use it for little, crappie fishing, very light, small bass, BFS fishing. It's just one of those very awesome filling rods, and for the price it's not that bad. But maybe my lightest, it's definitely the lightest rod I have. And if you guys heard of the Kind Tettons, I still recommend any Tetton you can come across. I broke this one. I've got videos out on how I broke it being dumb, but I fixed it, and then I just use it. It's just got one of those, like, it's whippy, but it's very, like, there's almost no weight to it. Look how thin, like it's so thin, and just for that lightest of fishing. If you just want something to go out there that super ultra light Kind Teton and put one of your smallest BFS reels and just go have fun. A very little streams, very little ponds, small fish just out playing around. You can't beat that rod. But then probably my favorite rod, most expensive one I bought from AliExpress. I've talked about it several times. I see a few of you are commenting. I'll try to jump in there and check some of the comments. Is this? I used to call it overpriced, but it was $200 off AliExpress. But this material on this rod is just made very good, and it's one of those that I'll try to show you the comparison between it. It's just, there's something about it that almost warrants the $200 price point. How light, but yet crisp and sensitive and everything put together. It's very good. So anyway, you want to say hi? Anyway, let's move on to... We're going to talk about my last... That is probably my favorite, like, of what it does, but this is my favorite rod that I've ever bought off AliExpress because it's the one I've caught my personal best bass. If you guys haven't watched that video, go look it out. The Kind Teton 6'6". This, I put another handle on it, so that's not the original handle. That is a awesome rod. If you guys can track these down, this is a one piece. You can't get those anymore. You can. Eugene, if you're still watching videos, Eugene had two, but he put like a different coating. I would have had to peel off the original cork, and so me and Eugene never made that deal, but I probably should have made the deal. And this one, I actually did break the tip at some point, being dumb, which is well after I caught my personal best, and I was being dumb and just knocked off, like, if you guys can look, I just took off like a little bit of the tip being dumb. I think I shut it, like I hit it on something, not out fishing. So I just moved the tip down, and it's just fine. I can't tell the difference in it. But the Kind Tettons are awesome. The Kind Conquerors were horrible. So Kind Tettons, awesome. I can't speak for any other Kind rod. I guess I'll talk about this Hebo Arise while I got it out. I'm still, it's more expensive. It's a good reel, clicker and all that stuff, but I'm still not sure. I guess for the money compared to, Japanese and any other reel for the price point, it is very awesome working reel. But the one reel that I don't have anymore, I don't know why I don't have any. I think I had a couple. It's like kind of like the Abu Garcia Black Max. I ended up buying like 5 or 6, and I don't own any because every time one of the family members or somebody starts using it, they're like, oh man, I'm like, oh, it's cheap. I ended up selling that one to them at the time. And so my Solo King Acuras are all gone. I think I may have traded them or sold them to Charles. So the Solo King Acura, which is basically saying the Dark Wolf Ultra, that's an awesome reel. The Dark Wolf Ultra. The Solo King Acura is just cheaper. It's basically, you're going to get the same performance. So if you like silver better, get that one. If you just want cheaper, you're still going to do roughly the same thing, get that one. Then they make like the Micro Monster, which you can get purple or pink. Same reel, just does stuff. It's got a few different things, but if you can still even find those, they're more expensive. So it is hard to knock that Solo King Acura just for the price. I think they're still 40 or 50 bucks. Awesome reels. I was using it up to, if you guys remember, right, you can go back. I've got the video. I got the proof, right? I got the receipts like they talk about it. You can go and I had it using it on even bigger stuff because I would see how durable, how good the drag is. So somewhere up around 15-pound line, those plastic reels all start failing because when the plastic reel, do I have a plastic reel? No, I'll just show you on this one. I guess I could show you on this one, try to. So even like this reel right here, so it's got a plastic frame. The minute you start tightening, you drag up too tight and you're pulling too hard here, right in here, you stand a chance of that plastic can only take so much before it will literally, even if it doesn't break, it'll warp it enough to let it fly out if you get too crazy. So a plastic reel only has so far to go when you're using it for bass fishing on like heavier stuff. Like if you got some people do, they run 40 or 60 pound braid for frog rods or something like that, and you're going to be yanking drag crank down. I've even picked up reels from guys that they literally super glued the drag stack together so it would be direct drive, no drag. That's not, if you're that kind of fisherman, none of these plastic reels are for you. But for lightweight finesse type fishing, especially BFS, even up to like I set my drag to where I can yank real hard. I won't break the rod or the line on like 15-pound braid to a 15-pound leader. So I felt that reel is right there even with that. But 10-pound, you're definitely good. 12, 14 should be fine. 15 is pushing the limits on that if you run this drag. So if you have any questions, let me check some of these comments. I cannot see too good, so I'll put on my reading glasses. Good to see you. Hope you put more content in the future. Yeah, it's going to be a little while. Merry Christmas to you. I'll be honest, I'm starting to get out of the whole thought of continuing to make YouTube channels just to the censorship. And if you've seen any of that stuff going on everywhere, the guns and gadgets in different places, making that type of content, I just, me and Charles started going to the range here and there. I picked up a few you-know-whats, and I started trying to make videos out of it, and they instantly, I call it demonize it, like the monetization on it gets knocked down, how it'll be picked up in an algorithm, so my video content like that was getting basically censored to the point where it wasn't even worth putting a video out because not that many people were watching them, and when videos did get watched a lot, the revenue compared to what these bass videos, and it's not a lot, I think the most I've ever made off YouTube was $250 a month. That was back in the heyday of bonsai and bass fishing, and I was doing both and putting a lot of time into it. So 2 to 4 hours a night editing videos, and I'm like, $250 a month, it is not worth it. Doing what I enjoy doing, sharing it with you guys, that's why I do it, not to make money. I'm not a sellout. I'm not somebody could come and offer me a lot of money to push this or that. They're going to I'm like, no, I do what I want to do. I buy what I want to buy and show it to you guys. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I joke about sponsor Diet Cokes because I drink Diet Coke, or the Monsters, Mean Beans, and stuff like that. But now, if they were sponsoring me, if somebody offered me money to stuff I do use, or offered me money to try something and give my honest opinion, I would 100% do that. But I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna put out a video on any specific thing. Probably will never happen because I've only got, and I would like to, we passed while you guys were sleeping and I was sleeping, we're over 10,000 subscribers. So they're still there. You guys are all still subscribed, back from probably way back in the bonsai days, the bass fishing, was still growing through the GUN phase. And then back to now, it's still 20 to 40 new subscribers, probably another 10 or 20 drop off, but it's still there. The channel's still there. And I would recommend, and I'm not knocking anybody that puts out bass fishing videos or any kind of hunting videos, but if they put out videos for a solid year through seasons of fishing or hunting, they've probably put out all the info you need to know, other than maybe some new products as they come out. So I'm going to use them. I'm not knocking them. I love these guys. Tactical Bassin, every year put out different rod and reel things and different things, but you can literally go back, and other than watching their new and what they recommend, the buyer's guides each year, all of their fishing videos are going to be roughly, and they're good videos, and they'll teach you stuff about how to try this and just give you thoughts like, oh, I should try that when the water's this temperature, this stained, or this color, or this time of year. It's the same stuff every year. Now, I'm not saying it isn't worth watching, but for like me making bass videos, I try to change it up or make something different. But you could go back and watch any of the old bass and bonsai videos, and I try to roughly tell you what the temperatures are or what's what, and just get an idea on what may work or whatever. Or if you're just, and you can also, those are still live, they're still there. You can also go back and watch one of those. If you got a question, ask me, and if I don't reply, ask again, because I've missed some as we go, and if I did get very big, I wouldn't be able to answer all of them. But like, I can answer most questions as people are commenting below. If it's an actual question, if it's just some goober saying something dumb about something, then I just usually ignore those. But if you have a serious question that you didn't find in the video, but what I will tell you this is that, and a lot of you guys maybe already know this also, I don't know how many times I'll put out a video, I'll take extra time while I'm making the video to explain to you, not like I'm doing today, but like when I'm talking about a specific thing, where I got it, how much it was, what I like it for. And then I'll get a question in the comments asking the exact same questions that I answered, that I made sure, and I tried to slow down long enough to explain that. And I'm like, dude, go watch the video. You just saw the clip and then clicked on it and then wanting to know, share the link, share the this, share the that. I'm like, no, at least watch the video, right? So as we go talking about that and sharing links, I've kind of decided I'm not going to, unless you come and ask me by commenting below, I'm not really going to just, Tactical Bassin does a good job of doing that. And they're linked up with Tackle Warehouse. So they're like, you just click on it. Oh yeah, I want to buy it, which is good. I don't have that. I'm not sponsored by any of that. So like, I'm not advertising for those guys for free. So unless you ask me, I may tell you, or I may share a link. But since I'm up in the air on whether we should be buying Chinese products or not, they are very cheap from AliExpress. And yes, I still look on there. And I did go back and look. I have not seen any new BFS style reels coming out other than this dude. They've got one new version of this. There's like 4 or 5 versions of that now, the Habo. And I don't know what I did. I thought I had the other one, Charles, or somebody may have ended up with it. I had one of those when they first come out, and these are good reels. They're good reels for the money, and they got a newer version. But other than that, on AliExpress, it's still the Dark Wolf Ultra, the Solo King Acura, and then I forget who makes the Micro Monster or whatever. Those are still the reels that I would recommend. Rods, it's always been like a crapshoot. Just, they're just a bunch of different trout rods, different rods, the more fiberglass rods for streams and just all that. You really, if you're a traditional, what I call American bass fisher that likes heavier lines, but you do want to do the BFS thing, you've watched Tactical Bassin and you're like that with the, and I don't even know, I had it at one time. I guess I must have traded it off. The Corrado BFS, I had one of those. Those are good reels. And you could get one of those with, there's several rods now that are available in the United States. They're more money. They're 150 to 170 bucks. They're probably not much different than these $100 ones I was buying off AliExpress, but they do probably have a warranty. So, and there's several of them. I want to say Dobbins makes a very good one. I mean, there's just several. I may look into that. I don't know if I'll get any of those or not. But as far as rods go, you're almost just if you guys you can go back and watch my videos where I was sitting actually right out here and showing you the bends on almost every one of these I've showed you here. Me and Charles have a couple videos showing you the bends on them and what we'd recommend maybe for this or that. But you kind of got to do your own research, dive into even Bass and Bonsai videos or other guys that put videos out on that kind of stuff. So if you have any questions, AliExpress, should you buy from China? Shouldn't you buy from China? Should we trade with China? Should we not trade with China? That's all on you guys, but I'm going to jump into some of the higher end stuff and talk about where you can get it, and then I'm going to end this video, and then hopefully we're back. Hopefully I get the hang of trying to put out more of these live streams or videos with my phone. I may even buy a better phone, but the whole computer, GoPro, that stuff, I'm almost to the point of done with that. I'm going to try to figure out a way to live stream from the water kind of thing, like show you just videos, not necessarily put together a fishing video for you to watch, but just show you what annex I'm up to, like in a 10 to 20 minute, 30 minute live thing. And if I can get in a rhythm of going out fishing, you guys comment below what you would rather see. But like I thought about, like when I'm going fishing on a Saturday or Sunday morning, like as soon as that sun comes up, go like live and do at least like an hour, and then you'll get an idea how we're going, and then maybe come back and do another live towards the tail end and see if, did we start strong and finish weak, or did we start, very like, oh, we don't know how to get them, and then did we catch them, and then tell you how we caught them or that kind of stuff, and then just do like a couple, almost like 2-part videos that are going to be put together each Saturday or Sunday. In theory, would give me more views, and it may give you a closer look at like what transpired that day. Because a lot of times I'll go fishing for a video, like anybody. Bill Dance did it years ago. Catches 6 fish, put them together in a video, and you look like you did some awesome, great fishing trip. But in a half-hour thing, if you went for 8 hours and you only caught 6 fish, you really didn't do that good on some of these honey holes like we go to and stuff like that. So you guys comment what you like to see. Anyway, let me jump to these. Let's go with my least favorite. Hang on. I'm going to have to open these all up and shut them back down again. My least favorite, which I've had for sale several times. My buddy Jeremy, I offered it to him and several people. This is the X-Pride. A lot of people say this is the best rod for jerk baits that they like. The X-Pride. You guys can see that. Let me put them in my glasses so you guys can see that number. Yes, I started wearing reading glasses about 5 years ago. 610 medium. But this rod is very, very, very good. The problem is I've got Mega Bass rods and the higher end Shimano's. So the X-Prides are very good. And then with this reel, that's the Steez with the SV boost and all that. You guys know what I'm talking about, Steez Limited. Those, oh my God, these reels are excellent. The only downside to them, they make a zillion that sells for a lot cheaper and is just really, honestly, as excellent of a reel. So it's hard to justify. The only reason I have as many of these as I do, remember back when we were getting the whole COVID stimulus type stuff, I was just buying these, getting them off of, I already forget the name of the Japanese, I was buying them, these don't have a warranty where I was buying them from. It wasn't Japan Tackle, the name will come to me, but you can get them cheaper from Japan. So then, would be the one that I've already showed you, of course, the Tequila Baccarat with that reel. This is just my heavier stuff. I like it with that big blade, the big blade chatterbait from Z-Man. This is just an awesome setup. And we won't go into detail on that. I do have that bigger handle come from AliExpress. Those are definitely worth the money. Awesome handle. I kind of ground down the knob. Then we'll go with my top 3. So top 3 rods and reel combos, and only because I own Mega Bass. Otherwise, this would be my favorite, period. And it still is. It's still right there close. Not my favorite, but my most versatile rod and reel combo I own would be this right here, the Poison Adrena. If you guys know anything about this one, and it also has another one of those limited stees. They feel awesome on this rod. It's got that kind of grippy, harder, plasticky stuff. And I have balanced all mine with just a little bit, and I got those. You can get these off AliExpress too. I've talked about that. Add a little weight in the back. But this rod right here, Poison Adrena. Let me try to see if I can get. Oh my God, that is too small and this dark for me to even read. Let me try to hold it up where it'll come in. I don't even know if the camera will pick it up. Yeah, I don't even think I can get it with this camera phone to focus. No, the lighting is just too bad and this phone isn't good enough. But anyway, the Poison Adrena, that is a very excellent rod and reel combo. We've got a video where I've caught a giant bass with that one. That's probably my third favorite. My second favorite would have to be this baby right here. Close to being my favorite. Actually, if I had to go out and throw bigger baits for bigger bass, this would probably be it, my favorite one. Man, this right here, the Destroyer, is the only downside is this. And what's weird is you can't have dry hands, but when it gets wet, it gets grippy. Or if as long as your hands aren't dry like mine are right now, dry and cold, it'll feel a little slippery. But the minute you start fishing, it doesn't. Was the only downside I had to that when I first picked up this rod. But this rod has got just an extra touch of snap to it. So I'll talk about the Poison Adrena. Is the most versatile. I can throw like chatterbait, spinner baits, rattle traps, and crank. Like I can throw almost everything with it. But when it comes to like spinnerbait rod, this rod, for whatever reason, those spinnerbaits I was getting from AliExpress, this rod just, man, it is. And you can do the chatterbaits, but my favorite I'm getting ready to talk about, I like it better for chatterbaits, but this is also for chatterbaits, but I feel it doesn't have quite enough give. I feel just like this rod would be a cheap alternative and good for spinnerbaits. The Fate Black 6'7" medium, because it's a little stiffer than a medium. It's not quite a medium heavy. This one is stiffer, so it's very good, but I feel like you can jerk a chatterbait out of a fish's mouth, but a spinnerbait where you kind of need that, they're grabbing it, and it's hard to explain. I think it's because the chatterbait collapses, and when you pull, like if you have something that doesn't have a little give, the blade will literally pop their mouth open, and that's my whole theory behind that. And this one isn't the greatest for that, but for spinnerbaits or just some bigger like jigs and stuff like that, this rod and reel combo just gets the job done. But like for the big blade and some of these other bigger, like that bigger chatterbait, very good. My last one, starting to get cold out here, ain't dark. I was hoping that you guys know me. I was going to put together a quick video for you guys. That never works. But this, by far, it's like the lightest of your, bigger 15-pound line, heavier fishing, chatterbait fishing, but so crazy light. But this, the blade from Mega Bass with the Zillion, got a different handle assembly and stuff on it, different cool bling on it. But this right here is my favorite chatterbait, and since chatterbaits are my favorite thing to throw, this is my favorite rod and reel combo. You can just go out there and it feels like you're fishing with true BFS size and weight stuff, but has power to throw the bigger baits. You don't necessarily need the power for mid-sized fish, but then when a big fish, but it's still, I guess I should have shown you the action on those others, but this one, it's kind of that soft medium heavy, but a medium, almost like what I would call, the reason I like it is the Fate Black. It's just, this one is, I guess, just enough soft or sensitive or something. It just, my hookup ratio is way better. If you guys remember right, I had the I had the G Loomis. If you guys remember those rods I had from G Loomis, and I talked about how they just, I don't know, I couldn't make myself like those as much. But these are like the opposite of that. They're that sensitive, but not, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain it, but it's like as long as you're moving, they're very sensitive to where I can't explain it other than these are better for baits that are off the ground, off the bottom. The G Loomis are, in my opinion, better for bottom bouncing contact, just stuff to where you're going to have typically more line out, and it's just hard to explain. But I had several of the G Loomis rods that I wasn't a fan of for as much as they cost, and I bought them. I had like 3. I think I had 2 of the exact same. I bought one used, one new, and then I found another used one. I think Jeremy may have ended up with all those, but I mean, awesome rods. The fact that they come with a lifetime warranty, but I took my chances and I bought, which I have 3 now of the Mega Bass rods. Man, these rods are just awesome. Like once you buy them and you use them, you're like, okay, I can't sell it and use anything else. Now I can use other stuff with it, but I'm like gonna keep these, and when, you know, fishing time's limited, I'm going out with the good stuff, right? You know, we've earned it. Okay. So anyway, if you have any questions on what I'm fishing with at the moment, when I get back out there, it's starting to get cold out here now. It was like 50 something, but it's dropping. Temps are dropping. Let's see if anybody's coming in since. I don't, Mr. UCL, I don't remember you commenting in years ago, but maybe you did. It says, me personally, I enjoy your point of view. Just go live, talk people, hang out with you. Tried the Junko reel. It's a nice $30 reel. It comes with 2 spools. 610 Poison Adrena. It's nice. Weighs nothing. Yeah, the Poison Adrenas, even the all of the higher end Shimano's, even the Daiwa now. Everybody's kind of got that higher end stuff, but I don't know. I've always just been a fan of something about the Mega Bass, the way they put it together, almost like an artistic way they look. Shimano, I've always felt, same way with Daiwa. Shimano has a more industrial build and feel to their stuff, which works very good. Like, you know, even in their reels, the Metaniums and those reels kind of have that. And the Bantams, they just have a more like industrial type thing. And then Daiwa and then Mega Bass are kind of on that, I wouldn't call it artsy fartsy, but I guess some people could. But it just has a more, I don't even know what the word for it, what you would call it, but the way they put them together. And I've always felt, and this may sound dumb, you shouldn't be able to feel a difference, but I felt more in tune, hooked into my bait when I'm reeling a Daiwa reel. I don't know if it can be talked about. I used to say it was because I had aluminum gears and just everything was, you know, hooked in. And I've always liked shorter handle. I've liked shorter handles, more direct link going through the line. I've always liked braid to this, you know, I like a leader. I just can't get it in my head that I can catch fish with braid tied directly onto my bait. I've always believed in trying to make the line close to invisible. But I've been fishing with my cousin right in the back of the boat with me, tied, you know, 20-pound braid directly to baits and just gone on a tear with me, or he may be catching them on the bait he's using, and I can't catch them. So I don't even know, other than super clear water, which we don't usually get that around here. So some of these strip pits, yes, but then the minute you have a stained kind of water, I don't think any of that matters. But the point I was talking about is that connected feel. Can't explain it, but I feel it's more with the Daiwa reel over a Shimano. I've had several Shimanos over the years that I like. I have one right now, the BFS reel that I still haven't sold, that I may break it back out, put on one of these rods and get back out. I was going to get the newer one, but then I just didn't. So anyway, if you guys have any comments, put them down below. Yes, we're back, right? We're going to make bass fishing in America great again. We're going to do away with live scopes. You guys comment what you think about the whole live scope. There's been some debates on that. Me and Charles debated. Matt, if you remember, we fished with Matt. He had one. I don't remember which brand he had, if it was the actual live scope or whatever. But in my opinion, we've gone overboard. They need to backtrack. Like, bring it back in, guys. We don't need $80,000 boats, $20,000 electrical systems, and it just puts everybody. I don't even hardly watch any of that kind of fishing anymore because I'm not going to be out doing that kind of fishing and that kind of stuff. Just sitting out there and doink doink and watching a video game. At first, it was kind of cool, and they've had it really even before the live scopes. Just some of the sonar, which you can still do when it gets super cold, and then like it's the only way to catch them. But and you guys know me, I just do it for fun. If they're hitting anywhere along the banks or anywhere where a moving bait will get you the hit, that's the way I like to bass fish. I've done it, slow down with the worm. Some extreme hot and extreme cold days and pressure days, they get to the point where you've got to literally set it in front of their face and go like this. You know you want it. You know you want it. You know you want it. You want it. You know you want it. You know you want it. You want it. And then eventually on the want it, they'll hit it. So that's how my biggest fish came, was basically had to slow way down, and then we got on a tear with rattle traps of all things, because I watched the Tactical Bass and did teach me that. That was one thing. I watched them doing it, went out and tried it, because I'm like, there's no way you can catch a fish with a rattle trap in ice on the surface. It's so cold, like you don't even want to be out there, and you can throw that thing down. And sometimes even on the fall, when you see fish down in a deep, cutout, you can throw it down there and pop it off the bottom, and then like on the fall they'll hit that thing. And we got into tear with them, and that's out in the videos if you guys want to check that out. But mainly with like a reddish, orangish red crawdads, we went through the whole different brands of different ones in a couple different videos. We got a little bite with them going for like 2 or 3, maybe about a month, 3 or 4 weekends straight. We were tearing them up, Charles. We were catching them, went through different baits that worked. Do you need the expensive rattle traps, or just will the good old Berkeley's work? And they all like it. That part, I don't know if that really made a huge difference, more so than the colors is what affected on that stuff. But anyway, guys, I got to go. You guys know I'd sit and talk for like 8 hours if my battery on my phone would let me. And at one point, you guys comment what you think. I thought about putting Bass and Bonsai in some sort of a podcast format to, if not weekly, monthly, do a recap on just fishing in general. Figure out, I don't know if anybody's sat and talk in front of a camera like I do long enough to have a conversation, but like Charles or Matt or just other people involved in fishing, and I could go around this area. If you guys know about here in the KC area, we have Average Joe's Fishing Club, Van Hendrickson, and a bunch of different guys that probably also watch Bass and Bonsai, but thought about trying to do that. Or you could do a couple up with some of these other guys that are also YouTubers making videos, and just thoughts on bass fishing in general, because I've jumped around different stuff. You guys probably seen I have saltwater aquarium stuff. I've got my son Noah doing the RC racing. I was going to get an RC car this winter, and I'm like, just something about, as a hobby, getting up early morning, since I get up at 4:30 for work through the week. I can get up at 4:30 on the weekends. Doesn't feel any different, and have more fun, getting down, whether I meet with Charles, Matt, whoever, or out by myself. And just as we get older, the process of tracking, and figuring out a pattern, and then going to see if it'll work there again, the next weekend. But will it work at another place the next weekend? What a lot of that stuff you'll find is like, not every small impoundment is the same as the next one you go, or definitely it's going to change up with water clarity, or if you're going from a big lake to a small lake, that kind of stuff. And just what you can find and figure out. And we figured out a lot of different stuff. And then also, will a bass fish, hit in the same day? And they talk about they don't have a memory. And it's like, they don't really, but they do. When they're hungry, they're eating. We've caught fish that still have the bait stuck in their mouth. And I've caught one. I went back the very next day. I had to switch. He wouldn't hit the same kind of bait, but I went from jig crawdad type thing to a worm, vice versa. A lot of times they'll hit. They kind of get leery. I don't know. They say that the memory's not that great, but I still think it takes longer than a day to a week. But when they've been, once bitten, twice shy on certain baits, it may take them a while to get back to it. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Comment below. Get her going. I got to go. Bye.